Good day, Doc Belas. This is our Milestone 3 Inclusive Learning Safety Initiative for Group 9. This report presents the design and implementation and instability of the early identification and learning support system. As a comprehensive equity, diversity, and inclusion initiative aimed at strengthening learner safety, inclusion, and academic support at St. Mary's College of Baliwag Building. On the findings of previous milestone, the report outlines a coordinated set of intervention including teacher capacity building workshop, resource development, peer mentorship, and clear policies and protocols that enables early detection of learner risk and timely, equitable supports through structured implementation, continuous monitoring, and data-driven evaluation. The EILSS is positioned as the sustainable school-wide system that promotes responsive teaching, protects vulnerable learners, and ensures that no student is overlooked in the learning process. The next one is the overview. To address the identify equity, diversity, and inclusion gaps, the school will implement a coordinated set of intervention for both teachers and learners. These include targeted teacher training on culturally responsive teaching, bias awareness, and differentiated instruction, development of inclusive learning resources, a peer mentorship program to support academic and social inclusion, and the implementation of EDI, informed classroom policies supported by practical EDI tools and regular assessment with individualized intervention. These strategies strengthen early identification, learner support, and mental well-being. Together, they build on existing school strength to create a safety, inclusion, and responsive learning environment for all students.
Hi, this is Vilano. I'll be first tapping this part of our paper. This section focuses on the development of materials, the workshop program, and the policy framework under Milestone 2, the crafting of an EDI initiative to promote learner safety and security at St. Mary's College of Baliwag. Based on school data and benchmarking, SMCB already demonstrates strong inclusive practices through multiple intelligence-based instruction, MDAS learner profiling, and regular teacher capacity building. These existing strengths indicate that a most appropriate EDI initiative for the school is the Early Identification and Learning Support System, or EILSS. EILSS is designed to proactively identify learners who may be at risk academically, behaviorally, socially, or emotionally. Rather than waiting for difficulties to escalate, the system emphasizes early detection, data-informed decision-making, and timely support. Most importantly, EILSS aligns with equity, diversity, and inclusion principles. It ensures that learners with greater needs receive appropriate support, recognizes diverse learner profiles, and promotes a safe and protective learning environment. In essence, EILSS operationalizes the idea that no learner should be overlooked.
For implementation plan, early identification and learning support system, school implementation plan, the EILSS School Implementation Plan offers a methodological and data-driven strategy to guarantee that possible learning risks and challenges are identified early and dealt with through prompt, suitable, and fair intervention. The system incorporates universal screening, continuous classroom-based assessment, tiered intervention, peer support, family engagement, and clear referral paths for students in kindergarten through grade 12. This strategy enhances learner safety, encourages inclusivity, and stops issues from getting worse that could have an impact on student academic performance and well-being. The EILSS, which is implemented annually, and the renewable and is renewable, is in line with private school accreditation criteria that prioritize governance, student service, and continuous improvement, as well as DepEd policies on inclusive education, child protection, and learner welfare.
The sustainability of the Early Identification and Learning Support System, or EILS, at St. Mary's College of Baliwag is anchored on two key strengths: continuous teacher capacity building and strong institutional policy support. Through regular training, seminar, workshop, and LAC-based discussion, teachers are equipped to identify at-risk learners, analyze data, and deliver inclusive EDI-aligned interventions. This builds shared responsibility and long-term ownership across the school community. At the same time, standardized policies on screening, referral, and tiered interventions embed EILS into existing child protection and school safety systems, ensuring consistency and accountability. Clear monitoring and evaluation tools guide ongoing review and improvement, keeping EILS data-driven, adaptive, and fully integrated into school's culture, ensuring lasting impact on learner safety, inclusion, and equity.
Good evening, Dr. Bellas. Good evening, everyone. To continue, let us proceed to our feedback mechanism flowchart. This flowchart shows how feedback is systematically collected, analyzed, and used to improve the program continuously. First, the process starts with program implementation. This is where planned activities are carried out in the school. Once the program is implemented, it is important to gather feedback to assess how effective it is. Second, we move to feedback collection. Feedback is gathered from different stakeholders such as students, teachers, parents, and community members. This is done through surveys, reflection logs, meetings, and suggestion boxes to ensure that multiple perspectives are heard. Third, all the collected feedback is organized under data compilation. The information from surveys, logs, and reports is properly documented so that it can be reviewed systematically and used as evidence. Fourth, the compiled data goes through analysis and review. The school head or program committee examines the feedback to understand what is working well and what needs improvement. Fifth, based on the analysis, the school identifies strengths and gaps. Strengths highlight successful practices, while gaps show areas that require attention or adjustment. 6. The school conducts action planning. At this stage, strategies are improved, additional support is provided, and specific actions are planned to address the identified gaps. Seventh, the planned improvements are then implemented in the program. This ensures that feedback leads to actual changes and not just documentation. Eighth, monitoring and follow up are conducted to check if the improvements are effective. Tools such as checklists and progress reports are used to track results. And finally, the process leads to program enhancement and sustainability. The feedback mechanism operates as a continuous cycle, ensuring that the program remains responsive, effective, and sustainable over time. In summary, this feedback mechanism ensures that stakeholders' voices are heard and transformed into concrete actions that continuously improve and sustain the program. That will be all for my part. Thank you.
The evaluation plan for EILSS is designed to assess the program's effectiveness and early identification of all risk learners, improving learner safety, inclusion, and academic engagement, and strengthening teacher capacity through EDI-aligned practices. Using clear evaluation questions, the plan examines whether interventions are implemented as intended, whether learner outcomes improve, and how teachers, students, and parents perceive the program. The evaluation uses simple but systematic tools including quarterly feedback from forms and stakeholder classroom observation, checklist to monitor the implementation fidelity and success, indicator that track early identification through the both quantitative data and also qualitative data. Uh, the data is reviewed regularly, weekly for monitoring, quarterly for analysis, and annually for comprehensive reporting by the learning support team. Findings are triangulated and used to refine intervention guide professionally development, enhance learner safety and inclusion, and support sustainability through integration into the school improvement plan. Overall, the evaluation ensures that EILSS remain data-driven, inclusive, and responsive, enabling continuous improvement while upholding equity, diversity, and inclusion practices and principles.
Good day, Doc Ballas. Good day, fellow teachers. Today I will be discussing our supporting evidence on our paper. Supporting evidence highlights several research-based strategies that effectively promote inclusive and equitable classroom practices. First is the tiered task cards. It is grounded in differentiated instruction and universal design for learning, which is UDL. It allows students to engage with content at appropriate levels, which improves engagement and academic achievement. In addition, cultural autobiography. Journaling supports teachers' self-awareness and culturally responsive teaching, helping create more equitable learning environments. Resource access mapping. It addresses socioeconomic disparities by aligning learning tasks with students' available resources, increasing participation, and reducing absenteeism. Lastly, peer tutoring or learning buddy system. It fosters collaboration, social inclusion, and academic growth through structured peer support. Overall, these evidence-based strategies reduce learning barriers. It enhances motivation, it supports inclusive classroom environments for all learners. And we believe that these supporting evidences are essential in promoting inclusive and equitable classroom practices as they address learners' academic, cultural, and socioeconomic needs while fostering engagement and achievement.
Good day. For executive summary, this report presents the Early Identification and Learning Support System or EILSS as a comprehensive equity, diversity, and inclusion or EDI initiative designed to strengthen learner safety, inclusion, and academic success at St. Mary College of Baliwag or SMCB. Grounded in the school's existing strengths such as MDOS profiling, inclusive teaching practices, and ongoing teacher development. EILSS provides a structured, data-driven framework for identifying at-risk learners early and delivering timely, equitable support. The initiative integrates teacher training, inclusive resource development, peer mentorship, clear policies and protocols, tiered intervention, and systematic monitoring and evaluation. Through universal screening, collaborative professional learning, strong family engagement, and institutionalized policies, EILSS ensure that no learner is overlooked and that support systems are consistent, sustainable, and aligned with national standards and accreditation requirements. Overall, EILSS positions SMCB to build a safer, more responsive, and inclusive learning environment that support the holistic development and well-being of all learners. So in conclusion, the Early Identification and Learning Support System or EILSS is strengthened St. Mary College of Baliwag's commitment to equity, inclusion, and learner well-being by providing a structured, data-driven approach to early identification and timely intervention. EILSS ensures that no learner is overlooked through strong teacher preparation, inclusive practices, family engagement, and continuous monitoring. The system supports a safe, responsive, and inclusive learning environment. Ultimately, EILSS promote the holistic development and academic success of all learners and reinforcements the school's alignment with national standards and accreditation requirements. So, that's all po for the presentation of the Group 9. Thank you so much po.